Change is the only thing you can count on to be present and consistent. Change is going to show up every single time because we are all evolving and growing, and change happens. So how as humans do we operate in that real world of change, but in a way that's healthy, in a way that's still contributing to our greater good and not contributing to our downfall? And now you have the golden recipe to do that. I believe that I am now an expert of releasing and letting go of things, because a few months ago, my apartment caught fire. Everything. I literally walked outside with what I had on. Everything else I had to release and let go and say bye of, not by choice, forcefully, because a fire burned it all. But I believe from that experience, losing everything and me moving forward and still being positive and being resilient and having the willpower to move forward, I truly believe that this is a skill that I have now. I've gone through it. I've gone through the most intense part of releasing and letting go, having to say goodbye to everything, my home, the things in my home, my clothes, my furniture, all the things. So now I'm at a point in time to where I know I can give you guys this golden recipe. I got the recipe for making sure that you are releasing and letting things go and you're flowing with change. Say it with me, flowing with change. That's really what it is. Because when it comes to change, you know it's going to be there every single time. If there's nothing else in this world, baby, you know that when it comes to change, change will always be present. Change will always be present and consistent, baby. Change is consistent, okay? Change will always be there. So you might as well learn this golden secret recipe to make sure that you welcome change. You're happy when change comes around. When change comes around, you're not so moved by it emotionally or mentally that it makes you become stagnant in life or it keeps you from moving forward. You know that when change comes around, you're able to accept it and move forward still in a positive way, and I'm here to tell you how. There are 3 steps in this golden recipe. The first step is this is what you need to do. You need to think about the scenario or the experience that you're experiencing, this change that's occurring in your life, and you need to analyze it and make sense of it. How am I supposed to take this experience in time that's causing change to be my life, and how do I analyze it and process it and understand it better? Let me tell you how. How? You meditate on it. Meditation can happen and look different. There's a variety of ways in which you can meditate, but you need to sit your down in a chair, on the floor, on your sofa. I like to sit in a chair, or I like to sit in something to where I can sit crisscross applesauce and have my back up against something so I can sit upright. You need to sit down, meditate, and clear your mind and clear your thoughts. And you do that by being present. Meditating is all about you being present. So if you can sit down and be present, and a helpful tool to help you be present is just going through your senses. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you taste? What do you feel? Right? You're allowing yourself to be so present in the moment that you're not even thinking about your thoughts. You're not even thinking about work tomorrow. You're not even thinking about last week, how you should have done this differently than what you had done. You're not thinking about that. You're so present in the moment. And eventually you'll be able to sit down and meditate without having to go through all of your senses. But even if I'm sitting down and meditating and I find myself wondering and thinking about all types of things and thoughts, I can always fall back on my senses, and that allows me to be more present in the moment. But the thing about meditating is one of those moments to where you can honestly hear the true voice of your highest frequency self, your intuition. Because we have our mind, we have our thoughts are racing, a new thought might visit you. Your thoughts, your anxiety, you being fearful, you being happy, all of those are great separate things, but what is it that you really feel intuitively? What is it that you really feel in your heart? What is it that your intuition, which is your highest frequency self, What is that person feeling? What is that person telling you? And in order to hear that voice better, you need to be present in the moment. Once you're able to silence your mind, silence external things, then that is where you can really hear your voice of your truest, highest self. So in this first step, when you're going through change, you sitting down and meditating, your highest self is going to talk to you and tell you things. Your highest self knows what's best for you. You know what's best for you intuitively. You might not follow it, but you know what's best for you. So you start listening to your highest self, and of course it's not going to sound like a voice, really. So when you get into this meditation mode and you're very present and you're listening to your highest frequency self, that is a moment to where your true, honest feelings come out and come forward. It's not what you think is right for you, it's what you feel intuitively. What is right? What is next? How should you maneuver and operate moving forward with this experience that you have going on? And if you want to, which is actually wise to do, you can set intentions before you sit down and meditate. This is what you need to do for this first step. You sit down, you set intentions. I am meditating to connect with my highest frequency self so I can have guidance on this particular situation. So I can have a better understanding, so I can have some knowledge, some insight as to what's next for me. What should I do? Or how should I go about it? Or how do I get a better understanding about it? You need to set intentions of that. And then you need to sit down, turn the timer on your phone to 5 minutes. Click that 5 minutes, sit down, close your eyes, clear your mind. And if it's not the easiest to clear your mind, or if you don't know how to meditate, that's why I mentioned going through your senses, because that will allow you to be very present in the moment, to get to a meditative sort of state for sure. If meditating really isn't your thing, another thing that you can do for this first step is journal, okay? Journaling and writing out how you feel. If you're not a type of person that enjoys journaling or knows how to express yourself through like word or writing, this is what I want you to do. Turn your phone on the timer and set maybe like a 3-minute or 4-minute timer and write. Do not pick your pen up off that paper until the timer goes off. You just write how you feel about the whole scenario. Talk about what the scenario is. Talk about maybe your intentions of you wanting a better understanding of it. Talk about whatever you feel. You might talk about something in those 3 minutes that you didn't even know that you felt about it. You might find out that actually a part of the experience brings you a lot of joy, but you would have never known that if you didn't write it out. You being able to write and express how you feel is also a way of connecting with your truest, highest self. It's a part of you expressing yourself. So if meditation really isn't your thing, you can always go to journaling or writing it out. And if that's not really your thing either, then sitting down, putting a timer on, and just writing. Even while that timer is going, if you can't mentally think of words to put, write down like la 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 la, or whatever you want until your thoughts come back to you and you continue writing, because it's important for you to sit down and process this change that is occurring, okay? Okay, if I was to use me for example, so my apartment and everything in it burned down 3 months ago, and I literally walked out with what I had, the clothes that I had on. Okay, me having a better understanding of what happened. I have this understanding of everything that I knew before is gone. Me making sense of it, me sitting down, meditating, talking to my highest, truest self. I just had this understanding of making sense of moving forward. Things will never be the same. What I had, who I was, is gone. It'll never be the same. I'll never have those things again. That's me making sense of it, okay? Now we're getting to step number 2. 2, when you understand and make sense of it in some way, allow there to be an answer for what now moving forward. How can you transmute that energy into hopes or actions for the future? So now that you have an understanding of it, right? Now that I understand that my things are gone, that things will never be the same, that I will never be the same, what am I going to do moving forward? What's next for me? What does that look like? Moving forward to me looked like diving deeper into things that I actually really, really love. The answer to what now moving forward was diving deeper into the things that I really love, that I'm really passionate about. And the part that I say, like, how can you transmute that energy into new energy? So when you transmute something, right, energy is fluid. Energy is a real thing. You can use energy. Energy is used. We use energy every single day for a variety of different things. So you have all of this emotion, all of this feeling, all of this energy towards being sad or being angry or being frustrated or just being confused by this new change that is happening in your life. So how are you going to take all of that energy, which is a lot of energy, and you're going to take it and transmute it? You're not neglecting this energy. You're just able to be an alchemist. Really, you're using alchemy to shift and mold and change the energy into something that's actually really beautiful and really grand, really amazing. So what does that look like for you? So now we are getting into step number 3. And the third one is easy. All you need to do is basically remind yourself of your greatness, of what's next. I said remind yourself. So when the thought comes to mind of you thinking of this change that's occurring, the thought is on what's next, of being hopeful, of being happy, of being excited for the new that's coming in now that change has occurred. It's to not be on grief. It's to not be on sadness. And I'm not saying to completely negate those emotions or to disregard them or ignore them, because essentially you never can really ignore emotions. They're always going to be present, right? Just because it's not on your mind doesn't mean that it's not still present in your body. So when it comes to step number 3, you need to remind yourself of you're analyzing in the first step of what this means to you, making sense of it. And then going to the second step. What's the second step? Going to the second step, now that you do have a sense of what it is, moving forward, what's that going to look like, right? What beautiful experiences are you going to now bring into your life now that this change has happened? Like for me, for example, whenever I have to pass my old apartment when I'm driving in Atlanta, whenever my focus is on wow, the fire really happened, it really took all of my things, everything that I worked so hard for, and I find myself being sad, I refocus my energy. I refocus my energy on yes, that occurred, and I've made sense of that now. But moving forward, these are the things that I'm bringing into my life that I actually do really love doing, right? So I don't know what that looks like for you because I don't know your personal experience. But when it comes to step number 3, which is actually the most important step, remind yourself of the greatness. Remind yourself how you transmuted that energy into a change that maybe brought you these lower vibrational feelings, maybe of anxiety or sadness or whatever it is, that you took that energy and you made something beautiful out of it. Remember that, okay? Remember that feeling. Remember that you had the power to even do that. Remember that you were present for yourself in that moment, that you were sad and you really wanted to lift yourself out of that space to do better and be better and move forward in a lighter sort of energy. Remember that, okay? And that's it. That's all. Here you have it. The golden recipe, the magic behind releasing and letting go. Because you know, when it comes to change is the only thing you can count on to be present and consistent. Change is going to show up every single time. And using this golden recipe, these 3 steps, this is something that you can apply to every single experiences that you go through. So now you're able to move with these tools of wisdom moving forward in a way that is contributing to your greater good, right? That's the purpose of it, because we are all evolving and growing and change happens. So how as humans do we operate in that real world of change, but in a way that's healthy, in a way that's still contributing to our greater good and not contributing to our downfall? And now you have the golden recipe to do that. So yes, no need to thank me. It's just what I do. I'm just happy to be here and to be helpful. And even talking about my experience again, had I not gone through losing so much and having to rebuild, I don't know how I'd be sharing this message and this wisdom with you had I not gone through it myself. So that's even a positive to look at it too. Like, now I have tools that I carry with me that I can give out to others to assist them on their own journey. So there's always a new perspective. There's always a positive perspective. And it's important to remind yourself to always have that positive perspective in mind. And that doesn't mean you don't need to honor your emotions and feelings, because you do. You just have to be there to be present for yourself, to encourage yourself, to remind yourself that there's still a positive experience to be had, even though this moment in time may not be the most positive thing that you've experienced. So that's it. That's all. Thank you so much for being here. If you haven't already, be sure to follow me on my Instagram, on my TikTok. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for being here. May you experience a high vibrational, happy, amazing, beautiful day today, and I'll catch you guys next time.